In this video, I'm going to talk about the trailer I started with and how I tore it all apart to get it ready to convert into an RV. I went with an interstate trailer from trailersplus.com. The buying process was very simple, so I picked one out from the website, and then I went to go pick it up at the dealership. At this point in my life, I had never driven a trailer before. Crossed safety chains. This appears to be fully engaged. Paul Clevis is in. That's hooked up. Emergency breakaway. Alright. So I white knuckled her all the way home from the dealership and safely into my driveway. This was a nice and shiny, brand new trailer for all of 5 minutes before I started tearing it apart. Here's a look into the trailer with the original factory walls with the Luan strips removed so you could see the orientation of the boards. This trailer came with 3/8 of an inch plywood, CD grade, I believe. Here's a quick look at what the section where the wall meets the ceiling looks like. There was some care put into this trailer to finish the edges. It's too bad all of this had to come out, but if this was being used as a normal trailer, it would actually be quite nice. Now it's time to get to work ripping it all out. Now it's time to start reverse engineering this machine. So I took detailed measurements and started plotting out all of the components of this trailer in CAD. In this section of the video, I'm going to go over all of the dimensions of the important components in great detail, just mostly for future reference and for those interested in some of the more intricate details of this. For most, this is going to be kind of boring, but I want to get into it. The studs are 16-inch on center, and the floor joists are 24-inch on center. The front door is 31 inches wide, and the rear door is 75 inches. All of the doors and the corners have extra material. The vertical studs are constructed with this winged U-channel. All of the 3/8 inch ply wall was screwed onto the studs through those wings using number 10 self-tapping screws. Depth of the U-channel was conveniently 1 1/8 of an inch deep, so it fits a single plank of insulation between the outer skin and the winged portion of the stud. The tie-down points located in the walls of the trailer are reinforced with this flat piece of steel welded onto the U-channel stud. Studs are secured to the main frame of the trailer using this piece of angle iron shown in red. The angle is welded to the frame, and then the vertical stud is welded to the angle iron. This 14-foot by 7-foot trailer has a 2-inch by 4-inch square tube main frame. Floor joists are this Z-shaped piece of steel. The 1/2-inch thick plywood floor is held to these Zs with a much larger self-tapping screw. The rearmost member of this framing is this odd-shaped piece of angle shown in green. The rear corners are another piece of oddly shaped steel. The channel in the middle is likely left open because it gives access to the rear taillights and the section where the electrical wiring runs through. The rear door header is this custom piece of very thick steel. Again, there is this shape of steel framing the front door. Crown studs run the entire length of the trailer that wraps around the winged U-channel vertical studs. The roof joists are 24-inch on center and are similar shape to the flared U-channel walls, but are a little bit bigger and provide a curved roof. This helps with strength and water shedding properties. The front of the trailer is framed with the same ceiling joists. Over the top of all this framing, there is a 0.03-inch thick aluminum skin. Now it's time to have some fun designing the RV. I'll do a brief overview of some of the things I found at this point after taking the trailer apart. Here are the bottom axles. This is the wiring coming in from the fender light. I find it quite hilarious that they drilled through the crown stud using a MIG welder. The wiring from the trailer plug comes in from the right front side. There are several places where grounding is done through the frame of the trailer, which I don't particularly like, but it's common on all trailers. This is the rear brake lights and turn signals, and there is a pretty big gap open to the air around these wires that will need to be sealed up in a later video. Stay tuned for the next video where I'll go into how I made the roof racks and windows.